Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video. Sloppy roast beef po' boys. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here and you're interested in learning how to cook authentic Cajun and Creole cuisine, comfort food, and just about anything for that matter, then you've come to the right place. Click that subscription button and that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now today is roast beef po' boys. Now this is not your typical roast beef po' boy. 9 times out of 10 in the New Orleans area, when you order roast beef po' boy, especially with the gravy, the sloppy roast beef po' boy, how I like to call them, they will take like a chuck roast or something. They will slow cook it till it's pulled apart tender. They would take all the juices and stuff that they cook that in, make a gravy, put the meat in the gravy, and you just have this wonderful pulled beef sandwich, right? We're gonna do something similar to that, but if you missed last week's video, we made homemade roast beef, and I will leave the card up here in the corner for you to check that out. If you don't want to go through the trouble of making your own roast beef, then you can just go to the store, to your local deli, get some roast beef from there, and follow the same recipe. Without any further ado, let's get to the kitchen so I can show you what I'm talking about. Now here are most of the ingredients we're going to be using today. Now this is mainly for the gravy that we're going to be making. The full recipe is going to be down in the description box below. The only thing missing is, the bread and the stuff that we're going to be dressing the sandwich with, which you will see later on in the video. Now like always, the first thing we want to do is get everything prepped and ready to go. We're going to take a frying pan, put it over a medium heat. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil, wait about 3 to 5 minutes for that olive oil to come up to temp. Now the first thing we're going to do is cook our mushrooms. The reason why we're going to do that is because mushrooms hold a lot of moisture. If you don't cook that moisture out, you get a slimy, soft mushroom. We want a nice meaty texture. So we're going to add a little bit of salt. We're going to cook all that moisture out, and once the moisture is gone, we'll remove the mushrooms and continue from there. And after about 5 minutes, you can see the moisture cooking out of these mushrooms. Now we're about 10 minutes in and you can see all the moisture has evaporated. Now it's time to remove the mushrooms. Now we're going to make our roux. So first I'm going to add the butter and get that melted, and once that's melted, I'm going to add the flour. Now once the flour's in there, we're going to stir consistently. Now this is a beef gravy, so I want a dark roux. So we're going to stir consistently until we get a mahogany color. Now it's very important that you do not stop stirring this, because if you do, you can run the risk of burning your roux, and if you do that, you have to start all over again because it just ruins the roux. Now we're going to add our onions. We want to make sure we saute these for about 5 minutes, stirring frequently because there's still a risk of burning the roux. After a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and add our bell pepper and our celery. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and mix frequently for about another 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to add the garlic. Now we're using a garlic press here, so your garlic's going to be nice and fine. So we just want to cook it until you start to smell the fragrance of that garlic. Now we're going to add our beef stock. Now just keep stirring. Eventually your roux and your stock's going to come together and you're going to form a nice gravy. Now once you notice that your stock and your roux come together, bring it up to a simmer, lower your heat a little bit, and then let this simmer for about 10 minutes. After about 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and season this up. We're going to add our herbs. We're going to add that West Coast Cajun Cuisine's Creole seasoning, our Worcestershire sauce, our hot sauce, and then we're just going to give this a good mix, and we're going to let that simmer for another 5 minutes. Now it's been a total of about 10 minutes that this has been simmering. Now what we want to do is add our mushrooms back, okay? Once you put those in there, give it a quick mix, then we're going to start adding our roast beef. Now everything is cooked already. We just want to warm this through, so we're not cooking it very long. We just want to get the beef in there, get it warmed up, get a little bit of the fat to start to rendering into this gravy just to give it a little bit more flavor, and then from here we're going to start making this sandwich. Now I got a nice piece of French bread here. I'm going to pull some of the bread out. I want to make some room for all the goodness we're about to stuff into this sandwich. Now I'm going to go ahead and spread a little bit of this Cajun aioli over this. Now this is like a remoulade sauce. I'm going to leave a card up here in the corner to show you how I made it. I did this a while back when I did some shrimp po' boys. Now I'm gonna start adding some of this roast beef. I'm gonna get a few slices on here, and then once I do that, we're gonna go with the gravy. I want to get some of these mushrooms on here. I want that gravy to drip into this bread. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little provolone cheese, a little lettuce, tomato. I like to finish it off with a little kosher dill pickle. Look, that's how I like mine. You make yours and dress it however you like. But this is how I like it, and now I'm just gonna eat and enjoy. Man, this sandwich was so good. Look, if you want to subscribe and you haven't already, click here. If you want to check out some of the other videos on this channel, check out this playlist, or maybe this video is more of what you're looking for. Either way, click on one of those and I'll see you there.